Welcome back, my Duelist friends, and happy Friday, because, the week's almost done. Time to start the weekend out fairly strong, I would say. And to do that, we have another viewer submission. Now, this one comes from one of my longtime friends, and believe it or not, one of the biggest supporters the channel's had since, like, the conception. On YouTube, he goes as Mr. Drumsticks. And he's actually started doing his craft over on TikTok. So ignore some of the deck list there. And there is our TikTok handle. If you guys want to go check him out, it's tiktok.com /@ underscore thrifty underscore guy underscore. So go check him out. He's full of fun things to do. And he is giving us his Gravekeeper's deck list. Now, I gotta say, I've been reviewing his decks for a little while now. He's given me some challenges to do. And I gotta say, his decks and playstyle are actually getting more and more aggressive. He's probably going to be soon out of like what I would consider to be a casual player and start being like a true competitor. But he built this one for the channel. So, guys, check this out. So, monsters first. We are going to start with 3 Ash Blossoms. I think we all understand why this is a thing. Obviously, we want to control what the opponent's going to do as much as possible. We're going to be using 3 Gravekeeper's Commandants. And what this is just basically a monster that, as a hand effect, you can send this from hand to discard pile to go ahead and add 1 Necro Valley from your deck to the hand. So it's going to act as terraforming. We don't need to run terraforming. Bit of trivia. I believe this is the only non-dark attribute Gravekeeper in print. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. We are going to be running 2 copies of Descendant. Descendant's got another fun effect. When this is face up, you contribute 1 face up Gravekeeper's monster that you control. It has to be another card. Target 1 card the opponent controls and destroy it. So again, we do get a bit of like a spot removal, lends into like a control aspect. Single copy of Guard, and this is definitely personal flair. Love this. Flip effect. Select a monster the opponent controls and return it to hand. And again, if it's something from the extra deck or like a ritual or something, they have to go through all the process of actually replaying the card. So very fun little tech right there. 1 copy Oracle, and as you guys can tell, had to snatch this one out of my speed duel setup. You can tribute 3 monsters or a single Gravekeeper's monster to tribute summon this card, but you cannot set it. When it says tribute summon, you can activate any of the effects and resolve in sequence up to the number of monsters tributed. Meaning that if you do 1, you can pick any one of them, but if you choose to do all 3, then you have to go straight down the list. First effect, card gains attack equal to combined level of monsters tributed for this. Second effect, destroy all set of monsters the opponent controls. And third effect, all monsters you currently control lose 2,000 attack and defense. So definitely a boss level threat that you could drop on a single tribute. Very easy to play. Fantastic. Next up, and this was a little weird to me, just because even when playing casual, let's see if I can refocus that. There we go. Even when playing casually, I do view Recruiter as a more than one of. He chose to go with the 1, and you know what? I gotta respect it. When this card you control is sent from the to the graveyard, so obviously field to grave, add 1 Gravekeeper's monster with 1,500 or less defense from deck to hand. And again, this allows you to do some tutoring. Next up is going to be the Shaman. Shaman's got a nice, interesting effect for us. Gain 200 defense for every Gravekeeper in grave. Negate all monster effects that activate in the graveyard except Gravekeeper effects. And while Necro Valley is on the field, your opponent cannot activate field spells. And also, field spells cannot be destroyed by the opponent's card effects. So again, this ends up playing as a super defensive monster. We don't end up needing to run Barricade Board Blocker to gain a field protection effect. And actually, depending on what your opponent's playing, locking them out of the field spell could be just as Let me try that again. Just as advantageous. And so that's good. Next monster we're going to run 3 copies of is Spiritualist. Spiritualist has the following effect. During the main phase, if Necro Valley is on the field, you may fusion summon 1 spellcaster fusion monster from the extra deck. Using this card, you control another cards from your side of the hand. Your side of the field or your hand as material. You may only use this effect once per turn. So again, this takes the need for anything like polymerization, magicalized fusion, or fusion substitute out of the need for this deck, while allowing us a little in-deck way to play our fusion monster, the Supernaturalist. Again, if we take one more look at it, it just says Spellcaster Fusion Monster, guys. So you guys could get a little more tricky with it. And since Ghosts from the Past 2 definitely had Quintet Magician as a reprint, you might even consider a Quintet Magician later on. And the last monster we're running in his build will be 3 copies of the Gravekeeper Spy. This one's like super common. Honestly, between this and Guard, even going back to Scapegoat format, everybody should recognize these. Spy had the effect that flip special summon a Gravekeeper's monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck. Now again, if we go back and we take a look at Shaman, this is going to be the way that you're going to want to board your Shaman, taking the need to tribute out. And then of course, should the monster that attacked into the Spy, or you maybe manually moved your Spy into a flip, should it not have affected, we are actually 2/3 of the way to a full power Oracle. So again, casual build, casual strategies, loving this so far. Guys, take some notes, do a screenshot. I'm going to go get a glass of water, and we're going to be back with the spells. So give us just a second. All right, let's start off the spells. We're actually starting with 3 copies double summon. And again, this makes a lot of sense if you're trying to get your Oracle and utilize this effect quicker. So you might do this. Again, in a deck that has more than 4 cards in the extra deck, this will also help you out with Link, Xyz, and of course, trying to fuse with your Spiritualist as well. So again, tons of play opportunity. The Gold Sarko, I know that you're going to banish a card for 2 turns face up and get it back during your second standby phase. I have no clue why you put this one in there, buddy. And maybe let me know in the comments section. I get it. Sometimes you just got to put a card out of play to guarantee it. But I'm just not sure which one was what you were going after, if this was for the Oracle or what. So let us know. 2 copies Gravekeeper Steel. Select 2 Gravekeeper monsters in the graveyard, add them back to the hand. Effect is cannot be negated by Necro Valley. And again, this is like super good because, again, even though we're only running the single recruiter, we are able to recur the recruiter, we're able to recur the commandant, we're able to recur the descendant, or the descendant's tributes. So again, like, this works out. 3 copies Hidden Temples in Necro Valley. Continuous spell, activate only if you have a Gravekeeper monster in Necro Valley at the same time. Neither player can special summon except for Gravekeeper's monsters. And I get it. This is why your extra deck was small. If either a Gravekeeper's monster or Necro Valley is no longer on the field, destroy this card. And again, we don't really have to worry about this because of the Shaman's effect. So Shaman's going to keep our Necro Valley in play. So again, as long as we can keep the Shaman safe, we're good here too. Next one, we needed some errata for because mine are too old. We need to talk about Necro Valley. So this card just kept getting stronger every time it was reprinted, to the point where we have 7 erratums now. So the most current and the way that we need to play this is all Gravekeepers gain 500 attack and defense. Cards in the graveyard cannot be banished. Negate any card effect that would move a card in the graveyard to a different place. So no recursion to the hand, no reborning to the field, none of that. No putting it back in the deck. Negate any card effect that changes types or attributes in the graveyard as well. So believe it or not, Necro Valley can go toe-to-toe to the zombie world. It's a little different. It is a thing. But yeah, it just kept getting stronger every time it got printed. And obviously this is going to be like the big lock. So we're going to need this. We're going to need to maximize this. Maximize this. Shaman is searchable and able to be special summoned directly from the deck. So 1 makes sense. 2 spells for recursion. I love it. I mean, a lot of the ratios are there. We got 2 Necro Valley Thrones. You get to choose and activate one of the following. Either add a Gravekeeper from deck to hand, or after this resolves, normal summon a Gravekeeper's monster. Since it is a normal summon based on the effect, this can happen like in the essence of the way double summon worked. So again, obviously we want to field swarm, and I gotta say I like it. 2 copies of Geki, because again guys, you might as well just start blasting. And 2 copies of Royal Tribute, because oh my goodness does this hurt hand traps. So this can only be activated while Necro Valley is active on the field, and both players have to discard all monster cards they have in their hand to the graveyard. So again, there's no saving hand traps, and it's just a perfect squeeze play. If you get to go first, you get to go into a full setup. You get to end on the Royal Tribute. Oh my goodness, so many things are done. But that is it for the spells. So go ahead, do the screenshot, do what you guys got to do, and we'll be back with some traps. Alright guys, so now we're almost at the end. We've got a couple of things left. It's going to be 5 trap cards left. 2 copies, Imperial Tombs of Necro Valley. And this is probably one of the best trap cards you could be running in this deck. So when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated, again, while you have both the Gravekeeper monster and the Valley field spell, negate activation, destroy card, you can only activate one of these per turn. So again, yeah, I get it. And it might only be 2 because he might only own 2 right now. Again, I tend to pick everything up in play sets, so I'm lucky. But good card, great card. Originally running 2 copies of Chained Spell, which surprisingly I just don't own any copies of. So I did make 1 substitution, bud. Sorry, I hope that's going to be okay. It doesn't really change the integrity of the deck. But Chained Spell. When a spell or a trap is activated, destroy all cards in the controller's deck with the same name as the activated card. I'm going to assume we're talking about the controller, the one who activated the spell trap. The wording here is actually a little fuzzy. But this could be good depending on, again, certain things running in multiples. I believe it was just yesterday we did the viewer submission for the Mystic Mine. And what we ended up doing was using Cursed Seal of the Forbidden Spell to pretty much the same effect. But what this is going to do is also be able to take out traps. So again, against somebody like me who really likes to use like Solemn Strike, he'd be able, well, he couldn't do it there because it is a counter. So, I mean, maybe it'd work against something, but it's pretty much the same thing. Just not going to get a negation. So what I did was I bumped his last card up to 3, and that was the brand new card, Double Exclusion. And this one's actually really good, so I didn't mind bumping this one up to 3. It's new, it's a common, and when your opponent activates a monster effect in their hand, negate that activation, and if they have any other cards in their hand, you get to discard a card from their hand. It's going to be their choice what the card is, and it's going to be fantastic. So there's that. Since that was it for the traps, we might as well hit this the extra deck real quick. He was using 1 link. He was only using a single copy of Track Black, which is fine. 2 effect monsters to make. Target a monster that you control that this card points to. Each time it destroys an opponent's monster by battle this turn, draw 1 card. You can only use this effect once per turn. Again, it helps him get a little extra draw power. And then I'm not able to run this at 3, but you guys want to run this at 3. That's the Supernaturalist. I only have the 1 copy, and this is only because Celestial found out that she had one laying around. It's going to be the combination of any 2 Gravekeepers, which is great because that's what the Spiritualist is going to do. Gains attack and defense equal to the combined original levels of the materials. So again, if you're using that big 10-star Oracle, that's going to be 1,000 points bonus right there. And since you have to use Spiritualist, I believe that you have to use Spiritualist, that would be 1,400, bringing this guy up to 3,400 right off the rip. While Necro Valley is on the field, This card and any card in your field zone cannot be destroyed by card effects. During your main phase, you can activate this effect. During the end phase of this turn, add one Gravekeeper's monster or Necro Valley card from deck to hand. You may only use this effect once per turn. So again, really cool. Big whoop stick. Also additional end of round tutoring, which is fair because again, it means that you're not going to grab more Tombs of Necro Valley and then be able to set them and go straight into your opponent. You basically have to think ahead one more turn. So guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. And again, let me just pull up that TikTok real quick one more time. This way you guys can go check him out a little bit. That is going to be @_thrifty_guy_. Go check him out. Tell Mr. Drumsticks thank you. And seriously, guys, I hope that you enjoyed his deck list. And do me a favor. If you guys want some more Gravekeeper stuff, let me know. Because they're about due for a speed duel update. And I would like to take a week off of GX stuff. And maybe we could bully George, the I Don't Know Duelist, into showing us his. But yeah, thank you for stopping by. Do all of the things if you'd like to. Don't do them if you don't want to. And just generally try to have a great day. I hope to see you guys again later. Peace.